Yeah. So it looks like they're infighting. And that's the result of a lot of the stuff you see pop up. You know, that's like they already told you that, right? But I don't think no one's, like, said in those words yet. It says, conspiracy theorist Jerome Corsi accuses Robert Mueller of illegal surveillance leaks. So, December 10th, 2018, 10:42 a.m. by Catherine Watson, CBS News. cbsnews.com/news/conspiracy-theorist-Jerome-Corsi-sues Robert Mueller-alleging illegal leaks and whatever. Look it up. It'll be on the Wayback Machine probably. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to ban it, but if you can't find it, it'll be there. Okay, should be. Sometimes it's not there. Hey, look, one of those numbers had to call me in the video. They usually don't call me. Not recently. So, they just happened to call right then. And so what was I talking about? Okay, conspiracy theorist Jerome Corsi accuses Robert Mueller of illegal surveillance leaks. So I didn't read this, and I advise you not to read the most of the stuff. You just got to know what they're doing and which direction they're going, and then you know, like, the mood it's going to give you. You see that it's supposed to spark an emotional reaction in you when you read the media. That way they can, you hate the person of the day or love them or whatever. But it's odd the media is actually showing them infighting, because they are actually infighting. But I guess when you stand in the background and control the two groups, then, you know, you really, doesn't matter. You want them to infight, so they fight each other. But at the end of the day, we know Trump's like neck deep in them, and he's like, I mean, working for them in every way. He went as far as to deceive people, you know, with the dancing Arabs thing. Did they invent that media too? Did they, like, I don't remember the dancing Arabs video, you know, and you would have think the 9/11 Truth movement, it would have been somewhere around there, but it magically appeared one day. And the Fed was involved in that too. So, yeah. How many of you were involved in 9/11 Truth? And there was never no dancing Muslim video. And then they came out with one that was supposedly backdated. Like this one channel did. I probably got pictures of it somewhere. I got so much shit. It would take 100 years to go through it all. Like, if you got a team of people probably, and, you know, understand what it means. Reverse engineering is like, you know, a lot harder than engineering the system. So, yeah. Anyways, back on track. And Jerome Corsi, he's an associate of President Trump. So, it's saying that they are going to, the FBI is working against Trump. But no, the FBI is they are working with Trump to, like, fabricate this infighting type thing, it seems. And it could be they are possibly infighting, though, because, I mean, that doesn't mean you're part of it. It just means they're infighting, which was like the plan, right? You gotta, like, force them to, like, speed up their game, and then when they get exposed, they'll, like, start ratting each other out and all that shit. You know, to, like, throw the blame as fast as they can. and like as best as they can, because it's well placed blame from all of them. Like they're all blaming each other for shit that they really did do. It'd be like if they wouldn't have showed up to the Bush's fucking funeral or something. It would have like, people would have been like, what's up with that? So that's also what they're doing with Trump. It's like staged though. So often it's staged because the whole narrative is staged, right? So they support the false narrative. They are part of that agenda, and there might be people tricked into it, but you don't get to be the big false agenda if you're tricked. You get suicided and locked up for illegal marijuana injections. Apparently, and Patrick Little actually did cover that. So yeah. I said he didn't, and then I seen it, and then he did after. So yeah. Still, I mean, how truthful was Alex Jones? How truthful is Trump? And how truthful is the FBI? Like, you want him to be truthful, right? Like, Trump said good words. He was like, yeah, they're in control. We're going to get them. That's like all that really happened. He was like, we're going to kill Hillary and we're going to put her in prison. And it's like, I mean, that's worse than killing someone. Like, if you call it a kill someone, like, that's stupid. They're tricking you with some sort of laws there. Like, it's just a prison system society. And you kill someone, you free them. Like, you do most everything else. You just torture them. It's weird how they make you think that word means so much. But basically, you know, Trump was calling for the killing because in reality, if what all the people backing Trump were saying was like, really Hillary's doing it. And look how many people there are online still saying that. Like, I think those are government bots, a lot of them. But there might be people who really think Hillary is important. But I mean, you fall for the trap for a little bit, and then you get over it usually. So I think a lot of the accounts are government bots. And recently, one of them was like found out as Trump's main mouthpiece. There, she was. Well, she was one of them, and she was like the anti-Arab, like one of the biggest anti-Arab, and they were allowed on these places. Twitter, you can't go on Twitter and post hang the Arabs and stuff like that, cartoon memes. Yeah, right, dude. You post anything, like, they'll ban you. They don't care. So they allowed that person to be on there, and yeah, like, it was a she too, and it's like they're totally pushing the idea that it's like white Republican males, and it's like none of that. You know, it's communist, alien, freaking. You guys think they're transgender, don't you? Most of you guys think they're transgender. Fucking, so I can't tell you what they are that way. Can't tell you whether they're males or not, really, I guess. But this is crazy that they're infighting like this. Robert Mueller mentioned Israel, so you would think they would want to go after him. I think that phone's beeping. It's censoring out the special word you can't say. So Alex Jones is lying. You know, he's caught lying about who he is, and lying about dancing Muslims, and we already know Trump's a lie. Like, so you don't have to. The case of, did Russia take over America? That's such a fraud, dude. Like, dude, I got a Russian friend, right? I wish he'd take over America. He'd like pound some sense into these people, literally. Dude looks like he's used to pounding some sense into everybody. And he's got the mass to do it, I'm sure. I met him at the freaking gym, okay? And then it's like, fucking, why don't you go run for office or something, dude? Like, I ain't gonna tell you who to punch. That'd be illegal, but, do what you gotta do, man. Rocky Balboa. But that's not the case. Trump's not Rocky Balboa. He's not helping no one. He's just moving around pieces in the playing field. Like, they all help people. There's plenty of help for all of you. They're like robbing you of like everything. There's plenty of help. They could afford like a servant per household. The government could. In fact, if you just like repurpose the politicians, that'd be a pretty large servant force. They could go around and take your trash out every day. Like, hey, vote for me. I'm taking your trash out. Thanks. They should have a day where they do that. That's for sure. But you're not going to do that, dude. They're way too lazy because they're busy putting on their show. And maybe they're not even lazy. Maybe it's just some extremely technical show they put on. So it takes a lot of time to stage. But they act like they're going to kick Alex Jones out. What's Alex Jones, man? He's a liar. Like, and that's where Corsi comes from. So it's like, what does that have to do with what does this have to do with Alex Jones? No, he's from the truther camp because it's a conspiracy truther, libertarian, alt-right, alt-right, neo-Nazis. It's like the same people. Like Alex Jones as like their hero, even though like the Nazis like opposed him for like, for legit reasons, because they were like against their morals and their belief system, right? But then they like joined Alex Jones' side, and Alex Jones is like, he discredits everything he says. I'd probably do that too, but I'm not doing it to like protect, the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? Like, just fucking whatever with me, but like, if there's a bottom line, I'd break through it. If I have a bottom line, I'm gonna break through that line. There's no bottom line. It just keeps going. And then with these people, it's the same thing over and over. It doesn't keep going. It stops with dancing Arabs. It's all about hating the Arabs. And then the FBI act like they don't have some sort of problem in this nation with how the cops and law enforcement and stuff is acting. It's like, because they aren't even supposed to be there, really. But they don't talk about that, right? They don't change that up. Like, if the FBI were to like be legit and be like a police force above the police, basically they're supposed to, their job, you guys know what their job is. A basic fool knows what their jobs are. Like, they tell you this stuff. And so they're like, the police of the police, basically. That's what you assume a person in that role would want to do, right? They're like a detective who looks for the rest of the police agents who they are sniffing, drug, don't want to say drugs, it's fucking stupid, but, sniffing some crazy shit on. Like Epstein, hanging out with Epstein or something like that. Like that's what the FBI's, that's what people think the FBI should be doing, right? That's what they pay them to do, whether that's their goal or not. The FBI is supposed to be like, the people's lapdog. So why weren't they going after any of these people in the past? Why are they going after him on some stupid sounding stuff? He like had a business deal with the Russians, right? He had a business deal with everyone on fucking Earth. That's what bankers do. That's why they're called globalists in some circles. Because they're all over the globe doing this. Like, it's just a stupid show. He's not working with the Russians because the Russians aren't even the Russians. The Russians got killed a long time ago. It's like saying, in 100 years from now, let's say, they say something about America. They're like, you remember those stupid Native Americans? They killed the Iraqis. And you're like, yeah, I remember that. Like, no. Like, you're not going to remember it like that, right? You're going to... In like 100 years, you'll probably think the Russians are totally different people than you think they are right now, because they were like just taking over. It's like all the nations we're in right now, like, or the people like down in California, like no, that place changed a while back according to statistics, and they're not even being honest with statistics. It's like Hollywood. It attracts people from all over the world, and then there's that like border there. So that was probably a long time ago that like was kind of like a different country. They kind of run it as it's like the globalist entertainment capital. You know, you see what they did with with the movie Hollywoodism. They brag about that. And you could just go on and Hollywoodism and the book Hollywoodism, the movie Hollywoodism, or documentary Hollywoodism. Never call it a movie. It undermines the value of the propaganda. But it's the truth. It just undermines the truth to call it less than it is. And this is fake. When they have this stuff, this is all like staged. And you can tell, because if you just educate yourself on what they're saying, it all leads to a scenario that they would have to participate in almost every step of the way. Each side would have to participate in the lie to carry the whole lie out. Each side would have to contribute their version of the lie, because it would be obvious to many, or at least a few, that it was a lie. Because it would make no fucking sense when you say, did Russia take over America? Ooh, no. Wait, did like Russia take over America? And they're like, hey, happy peace days, and like that's all you ever heard? No, it didn't happen like that. The people in Russia might have taken over America, but they also brag they invented America. So that's a totally separate 2-hour-long video on, in 2 hours, keeping it very, very short. We're talking about, like, you could discuss some of these topics so deep. Like, how many times have you seen Jerome Corsi, work with these people? How many times have you seen Trump work with these people? How many times have you seen Mueller work with these people? And right there, you actually come up with, I haven't seen much of Mueller. That's because they just changed position. Trump got rid of the last guy. But it has no value when they participate in the total lie by creating a scenario within the total lie. And they get you trapped in there And when you repeat their words, it makes you sound stupid because it makes no sense. Did the Russians the Russians are the commies? The Russians didn't take over America. Well, they did, right? They did. But why would the liberals, the commies, the people we're told are the commies, not talk about that and celebrate that? You know, they would be in the street dancing naked. Russia took over America. They'd be like, yay. Because they don't know anything about Karl Marx. They just worship him. And they'd be like, yay. So, call me a conspiracy theorist. I'm just like Jerome Corsi. Look at that. I'm just like Jerome Corsi because I'm creating a conspiracy theory upon people playing a game within a game. And they're lying by omission generally. And they're deceiving through fabrication and altercation of things and whatever. I mean, the list there, what the words could be used to describe what they're doing in specific. That list is many because they've done it over and over. Pretty much watch them. Like, let's go back to Alex Jones, like the king of these people at this point. Like, they say he even killed the previous dude, but I don't know. I think once they get a certain age, they just like disappear off the map and do whatever it is they do at that point. Live somewhere else, become someone else, whatever it is. But they participate in this. And that shows the lie. That shows the truth as well. It doesn't just show the lie because it then shows the truth of what they're lying about and what they're hiding is all a lie. I mean, was Epstein hanging out at a pedo resort? I mean, was he running it? You know, I mean, he probably had a bunch of other people running it for him, right? You don't run a pedo resort, right? Maybe you do. Maybe that's what made him so rich, right? That's all he did with his life. But I would generally think that a rich person who would run, so you would become rich like instantly, right? Apparently people value that type of product. It's very expensive. You would think he'd become rich. I mean, if he's in control of these people, Jesus, he's rich. So it's easy to see it's all just a lie. It's all just a fabrication because they have these basic premises which are not good. And that's a conspiracy theory because you really can't always prove it. They will play anything off and they will get rid of people if they have to, but generally I think they get rid of you by probably just you already knew you were going to like just go live somewhere else in peace or something like that at one point. Like, you're not even mad about it, right? You're like, hey, this is cool, I got a house and my bills are paid, you know, something like that. If you believe, you know, any sort of the official narrative, you have to believe in something close to that at least, that they're being paid off or blackmailed, because that's the only thing that would make sense besides the fact it's a fucking game they're playing. And I'm not sure how close they're working together, you know, with reality. First what they show you, first what they show me. It's just, I mean, the lies are so many. Just looking at this one article, you could go on about this forever, like just lie, 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 lie. lie, 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 lie. That's why you really shouldn't read it. I mean, eventually you'll notice when you start going through this stuff, it's the same thing over and over. Like each field is like a trap of a certain time frame. It keeps you trapped in a certain time frame. The traps are set up really uniquely, like, or the programming stops are set up really uniquely, but really basic at the same time as well. I find everything's really basic, so I'm sure it's really basic at its core as well. But they have some pretty good ones, and they come out with and it's weird how they let Alex Jones like lead like 5 of these timelines. He was like the narrator of 5 timelines, and it's like no one in each timeline really gets it because they're not aware of it being the same thing over and over. And when you see that, that's when you notice that it's the same thing over and over, and it's a total pattern in the world as well. Everything you look at, it's the same thing over and over. It's the design of the creation. It's just very repetitive, and once you learn to spot it, you'll see it elsewhere, and then you'll begin to see that it feels everything could probably be tied into it as you learn that it's just tied into everything. But the thing is stuff you don't know, you can't begin to understand generally. So learning certain things takes you to seeing more of this energy and direction, this creation. So it's just a stage show, but for what purpose? It feels like they're enslaving the populations. It's not like a good energy that you sense from them. It's very inhumane energy that they put out, it feels often. It's indecisive almost in that way. It's weird. But you have to be at a place at a certain time to understand whether that's real or not, or if that's just in a Hollywood basement. I can tell you the day I went to the RNC was really weird. We're only at 28 minutes. Maybe I have time for that story. That's kind of like an attention-grabbing headline. It's not so much I care about making a bunch of videos, but the topic could be so important it needs its own headline. It's like, this is punching, and this is kicking, and this is flipping and rolling on the ground. It's not like you just put in "I'm punching" at the beginning of the video, and then you start doing flips and jumps and kicks, and it's not really even the title of the video anymore. But I can definitely get far off into that. But this, it's just all tied into the same thing over and over. And then that leads to you seeing the lies that are coming out based upon the fabrication of stories, the fact that they're lying to you about any of this stuff being real. And it's like a system designed to just keep you unable to actually participate, because whatever is going on, and they will make that happen at any point. I wonder sometimes about what tech they must have. They must have like really tiny tech. If they only give us this stuff. I've seen them pull tech back as well. They get scared as the tech gets really good, because, and I realize at this point that's because they're hiding stuff. They're like, oh no, oops, someone did that, used that product incorrectly. It found out too much data too fast. So they slowed back on that. It felt like they'd done that for a long time too. With everything, they kind of slowed back on what they allow you to have, and they made up like it's more than just a marketing scheme. It's more than just a way to sell you new stuff. It's them holding you back, because you can see it in the other things as well. They already have other technology and stuff. They have more than what they want to show us. The governments have openly fought about this. It's not a conspiracy theory. They've openly fought whether the internet should be existent for normal people or whether it should just be for the government. And different governments felt differently about different tech they had. And just because we released the internet doesn't mean other people didn't have it before us. And they did not release it to the public. So we have proof they do that. I mean, yeah, it's not a conspiracy theory to think that, but you can feel it in the tech if you know tech, if you understand tech, if you've been with tech for a while. If you've seen it in other things, then you will know that that is a very possible situation. I'm just saying that is what they're doing. I guess not everyone who knows tech will say that, but they are limiting the tech. But if you also know they've been limiting the tech, then that's a lot easier to think that. And I think in general they just release like small parts of the tech and allow small things out. I've seen jumps in tech appear that were like where they jump back a few generations even. They do that kind of with everything slightly, but with certain things it like jumps everything back a few generations as well. Like processing speeds and stuff like that really haven't gone up a ton. They used to go up quite a bit more than they did now. Internet speeds used to go up at a faster rate too. But everything they create, it's just like they slowly introduce you to it, and then they still have some other stuff. So, won't quit that video, and who knows, I'll probably talk about one of those other topics.